What if the next camera that completely changes how high-resolution photography is done is not from Sony, not from Canon, but from Nikon? And what if this time Nikon finally answers every complaint photographers have been repeating for years? Imagine a camera that brings extreme detail, serious video power, smarter autofocus, and a body that still feels like a photographer's tool, not a compromise. That is exactly why the rumored Nikon Z7 III has photographers, filmmakers, and hybrid creators paying close attention, because this is not just another update, and it is definitely not a safe refresh. This could be the camera where Nikon proves it is still one of the most serious players in the high-end mirrorless world. For a long time, Nikon has been known for one thing above all else: image quality. Even before mirrorless took over, Nikon cameras earned trust because of their color science, dynamic range, and files that could be pushed hard in post without falling apart. When the original Z7 launched, it made a clear statement. This was Nikon's detail monster, a camera built for photographers who care more about resolution and image fidelity than burst speeds or sports performance. The Z7 II improved on that foundation, but it also left many users feeling like Nikon played a little too safe. Autofocus lagged behind competitors. Video features felt limited. And while the image quality was excellent, expectations moved faster than Nikon did. Now, with the Z7 III, it looks like Nikon understands that simply being good is no longer enough. Leaks suggest this camera is being built to compete head-to-head with the best high-resolution mirrorless cameras on the market, not just on paper, but in real-world use. And everything starts with the sensor, because for the Z7 line, the sensor is the identity of the camera. The most credible information points to a brand new full-frame sensor landing somewhere between 60 and 67 megapixels. That range matters because it places the Z7 III directly against cameras like Sony's A7 RV, which has become the benchmark for high-resolution mirrorless bodies. A jump to this level of resolution is not just about numbers. It changes how photographers work. It gives freedom to crop aggressively. It allows one frame to become multiple compositions. It makes large prints feel effortless. And it gives professionals confidence that their images will hold up no matter how they are used. There have also been louder rumors floating around about a possible 90-megapixel sensor. But realistically, that idea feels more like speculation than something Nikon would ship right now. Ultra-high resolutions bring serious challenges, from file sizes to processing speed to storage demands. Nikon has always been careful about balance, and it makes far more sense for them to focus on a sensor that delivers extreme detail while remaining practical for real photographers. What has seemed very likely is that this sensor will be a backside-illuminated BSI CMOS design, which is critical at high resolutions. BSI sensors handle light more efficiently, maintain better dynamic range, and perform more consistently in low-light situations. That means the Z7 III would not just be a daylight landscape camera, but a tool you can rely on across different conditions. High resolution has very real benefits beyond marketing. For landscape photographers, it means capturing fine textures in rocks, leaves, clouds, and distant cityscapes with clarity that still looks natural. For studio and commercial shooters, it means product details, fabrics, and surfaces are rendered with precision that clients expect at the highest level. For wildlife and travel photographers, it means being able to crop tighter without sacrificing quality, which can be the difference between getting the shot and missing it entirely. And for fine art photographers, it means files that can be printed large, displayed up close, and still look clean and intentional. One feature that could push image quality even further is pixel shift multi-shot technology. This technique captures multiple frames while moving the sensor slightly between each shot, then merges them into a single image with increased resolution, better color accuracy, and reduced noise. Sony has used this to great effect, and if Nikon brings a refined version to the Z7 III, it would instantly elevate the camera for studio and landscape work. It would also send a clear message that Nikon is serious about absolute image quality, not just keeping up. Where things get even more interesting is video, because this is where the Z7 line has traditionally fallen behind. That may finally change. Early leaks suggest the Z7 III could support 8K video recording at up to 30 frames per second, along with 4K at 60 frames per second, and possibly even higher frame rates for slow motion. If Nikon adds internal 10-bit recording and support for professional formats like ProRes RAW, this camera would instantly become far more appealing to hybrid creators who want one body that could do both stills and video well. There are even whispers about 4K recording at 120 frames per second, which would open the door to smooth cinematic slow motion without external recorders. Combined with improved in-body image stabilization rated up to 8 stops, handheld video could become far more usable, especially for documentary shooters, travel filmmakers, and solo creators who want mobility without sacrificing quality. Of course, shooting high-resolution video creates heat, and Nikon will need to manage that carefully. But for many users, reliability and image quality matter more than unlimited recording times. Autofocus is another area where the Z7 III is expected to make a major leap. The Z7 II used a 493-point phase detection system that worked well for static subjects but struggled with fast or unpredictable movement. Nikon has already shown with the Z8 and Z9 that it can deliver world-class autofocus when it wants to. Those cameras brought advanced subject detection for people, animals, birds, and vehicles, along with smarter tracking powered by AI. If even a portion of that technology comes to the Z7 III, it would completely change how the camera feels in daily use. It is important to remember that the Z7 III's target audience is not sports photographers chasing 30 frames per second. This camera is aimed at people who care about precision, consistency, and accuracy. A rumored burst rate of around 20 frames per second would already be impressive at this resolution. But what matters more is dependable eye detection, accurate subject tracking, and autofocus that works even in challenging light. If Nikon focuses on refinement rather than raw speed, that will likely resonate far more with the photographers this camera is built for. Ergonomics also play a huge role in how a camera is received, and one of the most talked about rumors is the addition of a 3.2-inch 4-axis tilting touchscreen. This type of screen design is especially appealing to still photographers. It allows flexibility when shooting low, high, or vertically on a tripod, without the compromises of a fully articulating screen that some photographers find awkward. It keeps the camera feeling balanced and purposeful, while still offering modern usability. For landscape shooters working on uneven terrain or studio photographers adjusting compositions quickly, this kind of screen makes a real difference. Memory card support has sparked debate as well. Some leaks suggest Nikon may stick with dual UHS-2 SD card slots instead of moving to CF Express. On paper, CF Express is faster and better suited for heavy video workloads. But SD cards are cheaper, widely available, and more than capable for high-resolution stills. If Nikon positions the Z7 III as a high-end, yet accessible alternative to flagship models like the Z8, this choice makes sense. Many photographers already own multiple SD cards, and workflow convenience matters just as much as raw speed for this audience. When you look at everything together, the Z7 III feels like a turning point. This is not just about catching up. This is Nikon redefining what its high-resolution mirrorless camera should be. A tool for professionals who value detail, color, and reliability, but who also want modern video features, smarter autofocus, and a body that feels refined rather than experimental. Timing will matter, because delays could push users toward competitors. But if Nikon delivers close to what these leaks suggest, the Z7 III could become one of the most important cameras in Nikon's modern lineup. My honest opinion is this. If Nikon executes this properly, the Z7 III could be the perfect balance camera. Not the fastest, not the cheapest, but one of the most satisfying cameras to actually use. A camera built for people who care deeply about image quality and want a tool that grows with them over years, not one that feels outdated after. A single generation. This could be the camera that reminds the industry why Nikon's name still carries weight. And that is why this leak matters. Because it's not just about specs. It is about trust, direction, and whether Nikon is ready to lead again in high-resolution mirrorless photography. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with fellow photographers, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest leaks and updates.